Hello everyone, welcome to Tech in Travel. This is the review of Sony 55-inch X80J. Now, while when it comes to Sony Bravia, this is among the entry-level models, in terms of performance, it clearly is not. Let's discuss the pricing first. Overall, this is a mid-range model, starting at about $1,100 to $1,200 depending on the country that you buy it in. So let's look at 8 different highlights of the Sony Bravia X80J. So firstly, this Sony Bravia X80J is a 4K LED television. The resolution is perfect. At 4K resolution, this gives you the minutest detail, and at 55-inch in this modern world, you probably do need a 4K television. So yep, from a resolution perspective, this is very crisp, clear, and certainly of great quality.
2. It's not just 4K, it is also a HDR television, and which is why you see the brights appear much brighter, the darks are slightly darker. And if you really look at pictures that are taken with contrast, where you see sunlight on one side, as well as you might notice a bit of a dark frame on the other, this television does very well. Now, the beauty is there aren't that many HDR cameras out there. I'm shooting this from an iPhone 12 Pro, which has an inbuilt HDR camera as well as an HDR screen. Now, just to compare, though you can't make full sense out of this, this is the television, here is the camera here that we have, and as you can see, both these screens look gorgeous, and the television one is just on par with the iPhone screen. Now keep in mind, iPhone 12 Pro is an OLED screen, and the television one that we have is a traditional LED, but because of HDR and because of 4K, this really performs well. The third point is that this television also has great color processing. And in fact, to me, that was the biggest reason why we went for this. There were other televisions which were 4K resolution, but did not have the color processing that Sony has. Sony has some kind of magic, and for me, over my last many years, while I've tried to be objective about which television I go for, eventually the color processing of Sony makes a huge difference. Number 4, this is a Google TV, which is an updated version of the Android TV software. The benefit is that it makes the interface much smoother. So, and there we are. This is the Google TV, and I think this is pretty intuitive. It's a far better interface than the traditional Android TV. And this is certainly miles ahead of the Sony interface, which was there in the previous model. So for me, having this interface, the access to the App Store of Android, makes this a huge selling point. So this is our remote, and as you can see, this has a voice button here. So essentially, just with this button, one can simply press this button and speak out and ask a question. Next, it has Airplay 2 inbuilt. And that makes a big difference. From your iPhone, from your iPad, you can simply mirror your screen. In fact, I mirror my iMac screen all the way to this television, and it works as an extended display without any lags whatsoever. In the past, I've always connected an Apple TV, and with the Airplay inbuilt and it itself having an Apple TV app here, there was no need to buy an additional Apple TV.
Next, let's look at the ports. In short, it has all the ports that you would ever need. It has 4 different HDMI ports, pretty standard for a television of this size. It also has an eARC, which is the audio return channel. It has an eARC, which is the next generation of that. And essentially, you can control your home theater and other devices with the television remote. It has 2 USB ports, pretty useful. It has an Ethernet port, should you want to connect it directly. It has a digital audio port, and it has a digital TV port as well. So all in all, pretty rich in ports, and I personally think it has more than sufficient number of ports. In addition to the ports, it also has Bluetooth and that is pretty useful because I can connect a keyboard or a mouse over Bluetooth to this television. Again, small things, but do matter when it comes to convenience. So now coming to the sound quality. This television essentially has two speakers, one underneath here on the left hand side and another one underneath here, right under here on the right hand side. And it has Dolby Atmos inbuilt. So now when it comes to Dolby Atmos, it's a pretty useful technology to have. It gives you a more immersive, spatially aware sound experience. Now having said that, let's keep in mind, just as in any other television, all you have is two speakers, and that too downward facing. Those are not pointing towards you, but it's rather downward facing. So here we're going to test out the inbuilt speakers of this television. Here's a demo of the same. Now overall, the sound quality was decent. You could get a little bit of surround from these two speakers, but probably what was missing was the bass, and that's very understandable. These are 10-watt speakers downward facing. There is no way you can get bass out of it. Now when it comes to speakers, I have a simple recommendation for everyone. You know, these days we spend a lot on getting a 4K HDR television. But if you look at the sound quality, there is a physical limit to what small speakers can deliver. And therefore, I would recommend that please kindly attach your 4K television to either a receiver or a soundbar or a simple 5.1 system. Attaching it to an external speaker will certainly make a big difference to your overall sound and television experience. Next, the design. It is an edge-to-edge design, a flat design. Somehow I just like Sony television designs. Now mind you, this is not the thinnest television ever made. Yeah, but overall the design is pretty appealing and the Sony brand has its value even now. Now lastly, the sizes. This specific model out here is a 55-inch model. The same exact X80J is available in 5 different sizes, starting from 43 inches, 50 inches, 55 inches, which is this specific model, 65, and all the way to 75. So let's get to the final verdict. At $1150 for the 55-inch model, this Sony 55 X80J is clear value for money. It has good 4K resolution. Not just that, it has HDR with a strong 4K processor. It has great color processing, something which I've always been a fan of when it comes to Sony televisions. The upgraded Google TV interface, not Android TV, but the Google TV interface combined with voice search, again adds a lot of value to my experience. Apple Airplay adds a lot of convenience. I save money on putting on an additional Apple TV here. The ports are certainly more than sufficient. Bluetooth is a nice to have, a big plus for me when I was upgrading from the previous generation. Dolby Atmos sound is useful. And finally, the design is pretty great. And yep, that's my simple recommendation. Just go for it. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye. For more such unbiased reviews and for the latest on tech and travel, subscribe to our channel Tech and Travel.